Yo, what's going on, y'all? So I figured today I will go ahead and talk to you guys about my experiences when it comes to doing Uber. So I did Uber for a few weeks, and I want to go over a few of the pros and the cons when it comes to driving for Uber. And I also want to go over which is better, Uber or Lyft. And this is going to be based on my experiences with my Tesla Model Y. So before we get into this thing, I figured I would go ahead and go over the pros and cons when it comes to driving Lyft and Uber. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we're going to discuss is the process on getting started. So the process on getting started, Lyft versus Uber, I'm going to have to give that first one a draw. And the reason being is because you're going to pretty much have to do the exact same things when you sign up with Lyft and with Uber. They're going to ask for your driver's license. They're going to ask for proof of insurance. They're going to ask about your car. And it's going to take a few hours, maybe even a day, depending on how long it's going to take for you to be approved for Lyft and Uber. So that's actually a draw. So next thing is we're going to talk about the app, the overall app functionality. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Lyft got it. Lyft got it hands freaking down, man. Uber is more like a dinosaur version. Lyft is more like a Tesla. Uber maybe has made some improvements, but it seems like it's a lot of things that they need to work on that they haven't. And I believe, or I feel like Lyft honestly has done that. A lot of issues that I honestly have with the Uber app is when I am navigating towards someone. Either I pull up to make a U-turn or I pull up to make a left. On the app, it would seem like I have already made that turn or already made that U-turn, and it confuses the freaking heck out of me, man. Uber, you got to do better when it comes to that, man. So app functionality actually goes to Lyft. If this is your first time starting off, you've never done Lyft, you've never done Uber, which one should you try first? Which one has the better promotion for first time drivers? With Uber, if you're a first time driver, I've seen somewhere where if you complete 200 trips, they were guaranteed that you at least earn $2,200. All right, so regardless of how much money you make, you're going to make at least $2,200 in 200 trips. Not bad. But when it comes to Lyft, you already know who's the winner when it comes to this. I've seen one promotion where it said, if you complete 180 trips, they guarantee you $3,000. Hands down, Lyft wins 10 times out of 10 when it comes to that. I want to say I even seen something that they were doing after 180 trips, they guarantee you $3,200. But $3,200, $3,000 for 180 trips, it's the clear winner here. It's going to be different for different areas. But in the Charlotte area, you're telling me I can sign up for an app, do 180 trips, and you guarantee that I'm going to make at least $3,000. And if I don't make $3,000, if I make $1,000, then they're going to pay me $2,000. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Lyft got this one, guys. All right. So let's talk about hotspots and stuff around the city. If you guys don't know what that is, I call them hotspots because if you go onto the Uber or the Lyft app, in certain areas, they will actually pay you more to drive in those areas. So if you're in like a certain spot like downtown Charlotte or around the airport, they'll have like a plus $3, plus $5, plus $1.50, plus $2.25 in certain areas. So if you're in that area, they'll let you know, hey, you know, you're gonna earn an extra whatever for being in this area. Maybe there are areas that are in high demand and they need more drivers out there, so they're gonna pay you more to be in those areas. And when it comes to that, when it comes to the hot spots, all right, high demand areas, honestly, I'm gonna have to give that to Lyft. Reason being is because every time that I have gotten on the Lyft app, there is always a hotspot in Charlotte somewhere, no matter what time I log on. All right. With Uber, it's like a sometimes thing. Sometimes they have, you know, high demand areas where they'll pay you more, and sometimes they just don't. I've literally gotten on there and didn't see anything. But when it comes to the amount, I've seen Uber go up as much as $9.25 to drive in certain areas at certain times, which is not the best area. So, you know, take that into consideration. But I still got to give it to Lyft, because when I'm thinking about consistency, the app that's the most consistent when providing that extra money, gotta go with Lyft. Which app? There we go. I like to be in the center. All right. Which app? Which app is going to keep you busy? I've literally been downtown, or uptown, my bad, uptown Charlotte at night around the 8 o'clock range in uptown Charlotte on Lyft, and it literally took me over an hour to get a ride. What? Like, time is money, bro. Time is money. And people that want to earn money, like, keep me busy. Keep me busy. Keep those doggone rides coming in. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have never had that issue when it comes to Uber. If anything, Uber schedules too many doggone rides. No, but Uber is gonna honestly keep you busy, man. They just keep, when you're on Uber, they keep coming in, man, which makes more sense why more people are on Uber. Oh, my goodness, man. This is gonna honestly require for a little story time. All right, so y'all buckle up. Okay, so which one is better when it comes to customers? All right, customers. And I'm talking about, you know, when it comes to being rude versus being respectful. When it comes to Uber, guys, 99.99% of the people that use that Uber app are respectful people. And I'm not capping, I'm not trying to, this is not a sponsor for Uber in any type of way. Just honestly, it seems like dealing with Uber, people are a lot more respectful on the Uber app. When it comes to Lyft, man, we done have some stories, man. We done have some stories. Kids climbing all over the car, feet in the doggone seats. Look back there, you got mud, red mud spots. You know, again, people just allowing their children to run rabbit all over your stuff. No respect, you know, handprints and stuff on the windows. Like, come on, fam. This car is clean and I want to keep it that way. But one of the worst incidents came. Yo, what's going on, y'all? All right, so let's go ahead and get into story time. So this is what happened, right? So I get an alert. And the alert is on Wilkinson Boulevard. For the people that are in the Charlotte area, they already know what I'm talking about. Actually, it was the Family Dollar on Wilkinson Boulevard. So I pull up and I see a young lady. I see her, she see me. She see me, I see her. And I'm just like, man, I don't got a good feeling about this. I really do not have a good feeling about this. So anyway, so she sees me and she's walking up to the car, but she's on her phone and her daughter is with her. And so, you know, when my doors are shut, my windows are wound up, it's kind of hard for me to hear. I can tell that she was having a conversation on the phone. So she opens up the door. She greets me, she says, hey. She gets on the phone and starts yelling, screaming.
Manipulator, you damn wish you would have played your cards right with me, you asshole!
Like, you're not gonna sit here and do this the whole time while we're driving, are you? It's like a 40-minute trip and she has a stop. All right, so she's yelling and screaming on the way to the first stop. She's still yelling and screaming to her girlfriend on the phone. They're yelling at each other about a freaking tire. Anyway, they're going back and forth. And so we get close to her first stop. And she tells me, she was like, hey, you know, she stops talking for a second. Hey, can you pull up a little bit to those suspicious looking apartments? Huh? Can you pull up a little bit to those apartments up there? Looking at the I know, you know, I know I got you going all over the place. I apologize, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, all right, cool. Pull up. Again, I'm new to this, so I don't know. The customer is always right? I don't know. So I pull up, you know what I'm saying? And we in the hood, which, you know, I'm cool with that or what now. I'm cool with being in the hood. That don't frighten me. Anyway, so, you know, all the kids are coming around. Oh my God, a Tesla, whatever. Not tripping about that, you know. Cool. We pull up. She gets out the car. She leaves her daughter in the car, and she greets a gentleman, and they walk to the back of the apartments. Okay. About almost 5 minutes later, she comes back with the guy. She got a big smile on her face. I don't know what just took place. I don't know. I don't know. So she gets back into the car, and now we're driving to her final destination. So she gets back on the phone, yelling and screaming at her girlfriend about the same issue that they just got done talking about, which is that doggone tire. It was something about the tire had like a titty on it, and she was trying to explain to her girlfriend that it was dangerous, but her girlfriend didn't want to listen. I had to listen to the same back and forth conversation for the whole entire duration of this trip. Anyway, they finally hang up. Cool. At least the last 3 minutes, we'll get some little peace and quiet or whatever. So she gets off the phone, and, she just thanks me. She apologizes. Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. All is forgiven. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But no, she's like, no, thank you. Thank you. Because listen, the reason why I had you pull up a little bit more and go into those apartments because my weed man don't like nobody know where he stay.
Yo, what? Yo, weed man. Yo, weed man. Man, my weed man don't like people to know where he stays. Fam, you got me doing, come on, man. Like, you could have kept that mess to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a part of this, man. All right, it's time for you to skedaddle, man. It's time for you to go. So she gets out the car, man. I was just like, yo, I'm not doing Lyft anymore. Y'all trying to set somebody up. I'm done. When it comes to customers, honestly, guys, again, it was a few different incidents that happened with Lyft. Don't have to worry about that with Uber, man. Everybody that has gotten in this doggone car with Uber has honestly been cool, right? Except for this one lady, that gave me a bad review telling me I was speeding. I don't speed. Like, come on, man. But, again, that's just a one-time thing, man. So, I'm not tripping. When it comes to customers, got to give this an Uber. Let's talk tips, all right? That's a part of getting money. That's a big part of earning money with these apps, tips. So let's talk about it. So when it comes to Lyft, they don't really tip you that much with Lyft, man. Lyft is it's so crazy because I did Lyft first. And I'm going to be honest with you. People rarely tipped me on Lyft. And if they did tip, it wasn't that much. If I'm being honest with you, it wasn't that much. As you guys can see, this is what, about 50 rides in, this is what I earned in tips. Now let's talk Uber on the other hand. Uber was a different ball game, man. It was a lot of times I didn't really realize how much money I was earning because, again, that wasn't really the focus with this whole thing. I mean, made money, cool. But it was one time when I had to cash out and I had like $800. I was like, yo, where the heck did all this money come from? It was a few different things that kind of played a part in that. And tips was one of those things. It honestly seems like when it comes to Uber, people tip all the time. Like, seriously. I'm constantly always getting $3 to $5 tips. I was seeing a lot of $6, $7, $15, even $20 tips when I was doing Uber. Uber tips are way beyond those tips that I was getting from Lyft. I actually had a better rating when it comes to driving on Lyft than I did with Uber, which is crazy. So all in all, when it all boils down to it, guys, I'm going to have to give the tip check mark to Uber. Uber gets the check mark when it comes to tips, man. I mean, and that's hands down, that's across the board. You're gonna earn a lot more money on Uber when it comes to tips because they will tip you often and they will tip you more. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is, this is something that Uber needs to work on. Lyft does an absolute great job with this, and that's keeping you in a certain area. So if you want to be downtown Charlotte, you can be
downtown Charlotte without